There are 7 wide receivers that I absolutely love at cost right now in best ball drafts that you need to get on your radar right now. Diontae Johnson coming over to the Panthers to help them out with their biggest problem last season was getting somebody open. Nobody could separate, and Diontae Johnson's one of the more polished wide receivers in the NFL, one of the best, and he's actually one of the guys in those later rounds. He's going in the 7th round that has a clear path to a high target share. So you want to jump on the value here with Diontae Johnson coming over likely as the wide receiver 1 when he's going to be your guy as a wide receiver 3 or 4 in your rosters. Great value. A top 25 wide receiver going in the 7th round is bonkers to me. DeAndre Hopkins is not washed, and clearly last year finishing as a top 25 wide receiver, averaging 13 fantasy points per game. This guy can still go out there and get things done, and this offense is going to be completely better with a new play caller, with the new additions at the wide receiver core to help Will Levis to keep these drives alive and keep them moving downfield to create more scoring opportunities. DeAndre Hopkins has top 25 upside, and he's going as your wide receiver 3 and 4. It's completely bonkers to me, so jump on the value. Great news come out of Tampa Bay with the wide receiver coach saying that Chris Godwin is going to be moving back to the slot position majority of the time that he's going to be on the field, because we saw how that worked out last season where they tried to move him around. 60% of the time he played out wide and only 30% of the time he played in the slot. That's not where the magic is created for Chris Godwin to be the reliable wide receiver that he is, but he had his lowest fantasy finish in the last 6 seasons. We need to get Chris Godwin back to where he can make the magic happen, and a lot of fantasy managers happy. And a guy that's going in the 6th round, I cannot quit on when I know he could be a guy that can contribute big to my roster. I feel a breakout season coming on from Jackson Smith-Njigba in the 7th round, where I could take my shot on a guy that has a new offensive coordinator in Ryan Grubb coming from the Washington Huskies, where he can really have his system play in the favor of JSN's abilities. Now, his system is based on quick passes, a lot of deep shots, and this plays right into where Jackson Smith-Njigba can make the plays after the catch, and he can create some separation and really make an impact on the offense. This is going to be a breakout year for Jackson Smith-Njigba, and you do not want to miss out on it. And living in the 7th round for the Chiefs. Curtis Samuel living in those late rounds is free money to me, man, because he's in a system that he's very familiar with Joe Brady, because they had spent time together in 2020 with the Carolina Panthers, where he was able to bring the complete best out of Curtis Samuel, where he had career highs. This guy created 137 fantasy opportunities, which was 11th in the NFL in 2020. So I feel as though he's in a system where you have the offensive coordinator that understands the agenda, what he needs to do to bring the best out of his players, because Robbie Chosen had a career high that year, and also DJ Moore up to that point had a career high. So you had 3 top 25 wide receivers averaging 14 fantasy points per game. Sign me up for Curtis Samuel to be in a system that knows how to use it. Greg Dortch getting some love from his starting quarterback this week. Kyler Murray basically said if Greg Dortch was 6'3", he would be a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL right now. Greg Dortch is 5'7", but he plays big. He understands his abilities, that Greg Dortch is a guy that cannot be covered in man coverage. He's a great separator, and he's very productive when he's given opportunity. And since 2022, in the games where he played at least 70% of the snaps, he averaged 14.5 fantasy points per game. This dude is going undrafted. He needs to be on your roster. No ifs, ands, or but. Greg Dortch, no matter what, on draft day. Now, last but certainly not least, you need to be taking a late round flyer. I love where he's at. It's cheap for Wan'Dale Robinson going in the 15th round, in some cases undrafted. He led the Giants in receptions last season. A lot of people don't know that. And he's a guy that you can create a lot of fantasy opportunities, that's targets and rushing attempts, because he's a guy that can get really, really loose. Now, you obviously have Malik Neighbors there as the number 1, so these targets have to go to him. They're going to definitely be a high pass volume team based on they have Devin Singletary as their running back. He's no Saquon Barkley. Darren Waller's off chasing a rap career right now. So those targets need to go to somebody else. And with Wan'Dale Robinson and his ability to get open, he's definitely a guy you need to have on your roster, because I absolutely love the value of him right now in drafts. So that wraps up another great episode of RotoBaller Fantasy Sports YouTube channel. Please make sure you guys like and subscribe, and leave a comment below on what you guys think about the episode. And hey, head to the website and sign up today and get 10% off on a subscription when you use my promo code FIRE, F-I-R-E, fire content only. You get it. You see the fire on the mic, man. But please make sure you guys follow me on all social media platforms at Real Deal Fantasy. Until next time.